Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Women Who Rock with Success, which is an award-winning show for professional women. We profile a collective of amazing women who are thriving to build their brand. Women are handpicked in various fields who can provide credible information to build your business and lifestyle. We are live each Thursday at 9 a.m. Central Time, followed by our latest brand, Women Who Rock Investigates. To learn more about us, go to our website at www.womenwhorockwithsuccess.com. Now, let's join our podcast host in the studio, Mrs. Diane Winbush.
Yay! And welcome back, everybody, to our third episode of Women Who Rock with Success Media on today. And we are continuing to have guests on our show that's going to share their latest careers, their latest brand with us. And so we have another super singer, songwriter, music artist in this studio today, and she is none other than Dia. So good morning here in the U.S.
Good morning. We're still morning here, too. Actually, what time are we? No, 1 minute. 1 minute off. Good afternoon from Toronto.
Great. So thank you so much for joining us today. And so, yes, we're excited. So, yeah, tell us a little bit about you starting out, and then also what kind of gave you that little unction to be able to wanting to sing, as a career. And I know that you do other entrepreneurial things as well, so we're going to get into that too. But we want to first get into this singing. We want to get into that first. So tell us a little bit about you.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me on the show, Diane. I'm really excited to be speaking with you today. And really, my career is kind of an interesting thing. I grew up with a family of musicians, so music has always been in my family. And I honestly, I always saw it kind of just as a way of life as opposed to a career. Mm-hmm. But when my grandparents immigrated from Italy to Toronto, it was one of their means of income, continuing the traditions and entertaining the Italian community here. So my start in music was kind of a birth introduction, and later in life I decided that it was something that I was so passionate about, not just singing, but writing music and producing. Mm-hmm. And of course, the whole performance thing is just something that I'm incredibly passionate about, and learning about different cultures and all of that. So that's kind of how I got into the singing part of it, but then the cultural and language side of things for me was just a passion, really. I think I just became enamored with the idea that different cultures had different traditions, and I wanted to become a part of that as well. So learning languages became a big part of my life, too.
Okay, great. So do you provide music for both genres, in American, Canadian, or not both, I guess all three, for American, Canadian, and I guess Italian or Hispanic, or is this just a combination of just one? Okay.
Well, yeah, what's really fun about what I do as far as performing goes, and even writing, is because of my passion for culture and language, and I did my master's degree in ethnomusicology. I can sing in 32 different languages. So I'm a member of many communities around the world. And, 32.
Okay, wow, that is just too much. That has overwhelmed me already. Oh, wow. So when I think about the Italian culture, so one of my favorite, actors was Peter Falk. And so I still like him, still love him, still watch him today and what have you. And so that's kind of stuck, I guess, jumped out at me when I looked over some information about you and what have you. I said, Italian. Oh, yeah. So we know that Italians, they love food, they love dancing, they love music. And so I'm pretty sure that was also a part of what kind of helped you to, develop even more in your music industry. So I love it. And so the name is Dia. Short for Diane.
Hey.
Yeah, okay. So Dia, was, we all have, just like I just shared with you just a few minutes ago, Peter Falk. Peter Falk was one of, he still is my favorite actor of mine. So were there any mentors or anyone that you would like to share that kind of inspired you? Because, on our show, we always try to help our listeners to be able to understand that sometimes people are inspired by different, different high-profile individuals that serve in the art and entertainment industry and what have you. So was there anyone that kind of that jumped out at you and said, you know what, I can do this morning because if she done it or he done it, I know I can do it. So were there any mentors that kind of helped impacted your career in the music?
That's a great question. I think as far as celebrities go, I grew up listening to an Italian singer named Giorgia, and she was one of the great, and also another singer named Mina, and these two both brought kind of that American jazz R&B feel to Italy and Europe, where it wasn't really a genre that people were used to hearing, and so it's a beautiful mixture of kind of Europe meets Western pop. So that, for me, they were influential as far as sound goes, I think. As far as career and performance, career viability, I really found a lot of inspiration through my mom and my grandfather, who, used their talents to support families and to unite people. And for me, that was really inspirational to see people coming together. It was the same way people gather with church, the same way people gather in their family gatherings. Like that for me was my community. And growing up here in Toronto, we're extremely multicultural. We have just about everyone from everywhere. And as I got older, it's honestly great. If you've never been to Toronto, you have to visit and just eat everything, because we have every culture represented in every way, from everywhere. It's the coolest thing. So here it was great, because the same way that my community was thriving, I was able to go to school with so many people from their cultures and learn about their communities and their ways of life and music. So my inspiration as far as music and career kind of came from my upbringing and being able to appreciate everything from everyone. We have a beautiful representation here. I think the diversity is what really inspired my music.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Great. So we're going to go back to these 32 languages. Okay. So you have a master's in ethnomusicology. So kind of tell us a little bit about how challenging or non-challenging that was to be able to, that's a lot of work, sister. That's a lot of work. Wow, you took on a huge,
oh my God.
For us, it would be a huge task. I'm learning 32 languages in one program. I'm like, wow. So tell us how exciting that was, or if there were any challenges along the way.
For sure, yeah. So actually, the funny thing is, I started learning the languages on my own and as I got into university, which I did my Bachelor of Fine Arts in jazz music, jazz vocal, and only through the program did I realize that there were so many other options to do such cool ensembles. I was part of a gospel choir. I was part of a Balkan ensemble. I was part of Brazilian samba. And, and it was just incredible. And that's what made me want to pursue the master's in ethnomusicology, because I thought, I am totally obsessed with the fact that everybody's got their own thing and I want to learn about it. It's like traveling without traveling kind of thing, right? So my master's, we're talking thousands of pages of research and hundreds of pages of final thesis and proofreading, and it was really a huge task, but I'm so proud of the research that I've done and the professors and colleagues that I got to work with. And for me, I'm a strong believer that by educating yourself on everyone else, it's a beautiful way to understand the world. And I think that by learning about other people and cultures and circumstances, it's a way to just appreciate each other. I know it sounds kind of cliche, but it's also like music, right? It unites the world.
Yeah. Wow. And then also when you're traveling, look, Dia, even, when you're traveling with your music and then your other entrepreneur professions that you have, there's just more to you than just music as well. But then you can be able to relate to all of these fans, all of these individuals in these diversity types of countries and what have you, and they can comprehend to you and you can understand them. I'm just like, when I saw that, I'm like, I've never, ever known that a person can be able to take those types of languages at the same time under one program. Yeah. So that's a milestone for a lot of women such as yourself.
Thank you so much. My favorite part is getting the reactions. The reactions of, like, for example, performing at a Chinese event and singing in Mandarin Chinese, and everybody says, "Wow, how do you do that? Like, did you live in China?" And I said, "No, it's just curiosity."
Wow, that is wow. I'm still wowed about that one right there because, like I said, just think about if others could. And I like the fact how women can be able to go in there and create something totally different. I mean, if someone is singing on stage, my best genre is gospel, of course, and Christian music. But just think about whatever type of music that you're singing, you can relate in 32 different other countries. Wow. Okay. So you can just expect as to where your music is going down the road, okay? You can just expect where that is going to go. That should be able to hit the top charts right there, okay? So let's and like I stated, it's something when women can be able to do something different that no one else has ever done, because this is the first time me hearing this, that one woman can be able to, do 32 languages from taking a course, and then she's, proficient in it. I love that. I love for a woman to take the extra mile that the next woman perhaps maybe was a little afraid or shy or procrastinated to do. So you took that authority and say, hey, look, I'm going to do this, and so when I step out on the stage, I can go to any tour. See, that's monetizing. Let me leave them alone. That's monetizing right there. Yes, that's monetizing. Yes, that's monetizing your brand, and you can say I can go on anybody's stage around the world, and they can comprehend me, and that's going to even really just cause your fans to even, follow you even the more. That should be able to quadruple them right there. So let me move back. Let me take a breath right there. Okay. Now, so let's talk about your latest release. And so for the first question is, we want to understand as to when I do interviews with music artists, I try to feel them as to why they selected the name, why did they select the stage name, and different other things, and we're going to get into that too. So we want to talk about Limonata or Limonata. You can pronounce it better for me or what have you. And so why did you choose that topic? Because, when we see this, the first thing we think about is lemonade.
Yes. Well, I can tell you're on the right track. That's exactly it. And, so limonata, you said it perfectly. It's an Italian word for a lemon drink. It's just a fizzy lemon, delicious, refreshing drink. And so it is like a lemonade-based beverage, basically. And then the play on words in the lyrics is limonata, limonare. And limonare is an Italian slang word, kind of, for passionately kissing. And basically, yeah. So this song is inspired by my first time visiting Italy last summer. And it was really an experience of a lifetime because of COVID and all of the spare time that I had without any performances and everything. I finally had an opportunity to travel for a long enough time to really enjoy and experience where I'm from. So I went to Italy. We explored the Amalfi Coast in the south, and there were lemons everywhere. And the song is really about loving life and truly living it to the fullest. And it's kind of a fresh, zesty, no pun intended, take on love, and really an homage to the country of Italy, because I felt so at home there. I really just felt like, you know, and it's strange because, you know, culturally, yes, okay, you grow up with a culture that has been instilled through your parents and grandparents, and there was so much familiarity, but I almost felt like a stranger in my own house, if that makes any sense.
Oh, wow.
Because, you know, I speak the language, I knew so much about the traditions and everything, but it just was so different when you're there in person, and the country just loved me back as much as I loved it. It was a crazy, beautiful experience, and that I came home 2 months later. I booked a one-way ticket, and I went completely by myself, and I vlogged the whole thing.
Wow. Okay. And so we've learned that limonata is an Italian word, and that it stands for lemon drink, or whatever, lemon refreshing drink. So we're going to talk about limonata, or we'll say this. So when you go on the stage, and you got your fans waiting on you to come out and what have you. And so what are some of the takeaways that you expect your audience to be able to grasp from you? Because sometimes people just, you know, I got my name out there. You know, I'm on the top Billboard, top 10 or top 5. We're going to say for you, top number 1, because you got 32 languages. So we're going to say, okay, so what is it that you want them to grasp? Because sometimes people don't have a meaning. They don't have a message. They basically look for the followers. They look for the crowd. But what is it that you expect your audience to retrieve from you and from your music?
My main goal, and that's a beautiful question. I really like that you asked that because it's something that's often overlooked. I think it's so important, first of all. A lot of people, and I'm not knocking anything because all art is important, but I find that it's more popular to release music today than to perform it. And where I thrive, I believe, and where I get most of my passion is actually on stage, interacting with audiences around the world. And what I want them to take away from these performances is to feel something, first and foremost. So depending on what song I'm singing and what vibe I'm going for, whether they feel emotional or they feel excited or they want to dance, I just want them to feel something and to connect with me through these feelings. And also, because I make my sets so diverse and I like to put songs from different places, oftentimes it's kind of a surprise when something comes up in a different language, you know, that's not English, Spanish, or Italian, you know. So when I bring in these different languages, I love to watch the audience react to it and start dancing, for example, to like belly dancing for a song that I'll sing in Arabic that they would never have heard before. But because I'm performing it, I'm using it as an opportunity to showcase other experiences and to just bring to light that there is more. There's more. There's a whole world out there, right? So to connect people with other countries, other cultures, other languages, I think that's one of my main things is like for someone to leave a festival and say, wow, I saw this girl, she was singing in Italian and then she was singing in Mandarin Chinese, and then she was singing in Portuguese and dancing to these different things. And for me, that's what gets me excited, and I love seeing other people get excited about that too.
Right, and I think it's very important that that as you stated, connecting your fans with your music. And so, as I stated, sometimes we have people that's on Instagram. They have millions of followers, but it's not the connect. I would rather have the followers too, but I would really rather have the connection as well. That keeps them bonded to whatever else. They don't look. Once you connect with the audience, they don't care what else that you produce. They're going to follow you regardless. And then sometimes you'll have people just connect with one. I mean, they'll follow the artist just for one song because it did not resonate with those that are, listening, or those that are in the seated areas or what have you. And so I think that's very, very important. And I like how you kind of demonstrated that as to, connecting with, those that, and then you like to, watch their reaction and what have you. And so I think that is very, very important. How can a person be a musician, an artist, a song artist, or what have you, and then they don't have no type of, connection with their fans? I mean, I can have millions of followers, but I would rather have the connection as well. So I think that's very important, for an artist, especially such as yourself. You have a very, very strong portfolio as to how to be able to resonate with different languages and different cultures, because we have people here in the U.S., they come over various countries and they sing and what have you, but they perhaps cannot sing in those type of languages. And so I think that is also a benefit in regards to what you're doing. So as I always share with all of our musicians, guests, or musical guests, or what have you, and musical artists, here in Tennessee, as I stated before, this is the capital of music here in this state. And so that would be the next question that I would like to ask. I know sometimes we like to love to stay at home, and, we're going to stay in Toronto and Canada and what have you. So where you see yourself is stretching your music even in the U.S.?
Well, first off, I have never been to Nashville, which is such a pity because I know so many people who have, and Tennessee as a state in general, I know there's some great stuff happening down there, and I will absolutely make my way over for sure. It's on my bucket list for sure. I've done some fun stuff in California. My first album was released out of California, and I had a great time there in Los Angeles and surrounding areas. But what's actually happening, and this is exclusive because I have not announced this anywhere, but I'm heading out to Italy on Sunday for an amount of time that I am not certain. I'm kind of heading out and launching in Europe.
Wow.
So there's a debut for you.
Yeah, well, that's great. That's great. I just wanted to kind of open that channel up to you. We here in Tennessee, of course, Dolly Parton is one of the highest top-rating country singers in the world, and so of course she has her own portfolio here in Tennessee. Dolly, what is it? Dolly World, Dolly something like that, and of course we have Opera Land, and then we just finished Elvis Week. And so that's the reason why I wanted to open up those kind of avenues to you in the future as to how that can also benefit your career, in case you wanted to be able to participate on one of those stages. We have Memphis in May, which is a blues festival that they have for all types of different cultures. And people come from, especially for Elvis Week now, people come from like all over the world, Greece, Canada, they from everywhere for Elvis Week because he's a legend, And so I just wanted to kind of keep that option open. And then look, Tennessee is also the native home of Justin Timberlake, and so this is where he got started, right here in Shelby County, which is probably about an hour and a half from us. Yes, ma'am. Yes. So those are some opportunities after you get through swimming and doing all of your tours in Italy, that would be another option that you could be able to take on perhaps after that. So with the last question, of course, we would love for you to be able to share where the listeners can be able to find you. Anything that you would like to share as far as some of your past and present and future platforms where they can be able to look you up, as well as your music as well. You can be able to share that at this time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. You can follow me on Instagram at Dia, 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 or you can visit my website, diamusiconline.com, and there are links to my Spotify, my Apple Music, my YouTube channel, Dia Music Official, where I'll be posting weekly vlogs of my experiences in Europe and beyond, and new music and updates. That's where you can find me.
Okay, perfect. Dia, we thank you so much for being with us in the studio today and sharing with us regarding to your latest release, Limonata. And we thank you so much, and we, wish you the best, pray for the best for you for this new journey that you're taking out on Sunday, in Italy. So just make sure that you dance enough for us and be able to sing enough for us in the audiences, and then also, be able to come back and swing back to Tennessee and perhaps maybe around the state of Florida to be able to even share more with others around the world. Yes. So we thank you once again for being with us. You're so great.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a great honor.
Thank you. So everyone, we'll see you back next Thursday on Women Who Rock with Success Media. Have a wonderful day.